Good afternoon and welcome. My name is Paul Kalistra. I'm the Executive Director of West End Neighborhood House. And first of all, I would like to say to our County Exec, Matt Meyer, what a great facility this Route 9 library is. I mean, it is an amazing place for the community to not only read books, not only go on computers, but you have this wonderful restaurant behind us. And it's actually part of today's story, because young people who have been the recipient of this program, thank you Citi Foundation, have actually learned culinary arts here, and some even have full-time jobs, not just starting a summer career pathway, but moving forward and exploring what their career might be. In addition, you may see these poinsettias that are around in this building. These poinsettias were grown by young people who decided that they were interested in agriculture and landscape. So this is a great place to do today's announcements. So I'm going to save a lot of the announcement for our guest speakers, and my first guest speaker would be our county exec who had the foresight of saying, you know, how do we forge private, public, not-for-profit initiatives to help our young people? So I'd like to introduce Matt Meyer, our county exec.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
It's great to see everyone here today at the wonderful Route 9 Library and Innovation Center. It's important to note on this cold, rainy day that if it were 5 years ago here, we'd be sitting out in the rain. There was nothing here. This is a lot for years and years, and it's only because of the commitment of this surrounding community to the idea that they could put a digital community learning center right here in the middle of the Route 9 corridor that we're sitting inside in this beautiful building in this beautiful eatery today. Similarly, we're here to celebrate the tremendous commitment of the Citi Foundation, of West End Neighborhood House, in partnership with the U.S. Department of Labor and our fantastic Community Services Department, to give something really important to the people of this county, to the families of this county. There are, according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, about 7 million unfilled jobs right now in the United States, about 7 million unfilled jobs, and there are about 6 million people looking for jobs. So I would say, wait, there are 6 million people looking for jobs. Why don't they just go in those jobs? Then there will only be a million unfilled jobs, for those who can do a little subtraction, right? You'd only have 1 million unfilled jobs left, and everybody would have a job. Well, why don't they do that? Well, the reason is because what the employers are looking for are not the skills that the unemployed people looking for work have. And that's why what Citi Foundation is doing and what West End is doing and what the U.S. Department of Labor and our wonderful community services staff is doing is so vitally important. I know, I think pretty much everyone in here had personal interaction on some level this past summer with individuals who went through the job program that, with this same partnership. We're now in our 3rd year. And so we've spoken to children, I know you have, who've benefited directly from this tremendous commitment from Citi. And so we cannot thank you enough. You're creating pathways and opportunities for kids that will last a lifetime. So thank you so much. We really appreciate it. And without further ado, should I go ahead and bring up Sandra Peterson, the Delaware head of the Citi Foundation. So thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. As part of the Citi Foundation, we have an initiative called the Pathways to Progress. It's a 3-year initiative, and it was funded at $100 million. The purpose of the program is to promote economic progress and to enhance the lives of our young adults through skills training and providing them with job opportunities. As the president of Citibank Delaware and a resident of Citibank Delaware, I'd like to thank Paul and his team for all of the work that they do to support our youth. For our youth, I'd like to share very briefly my background. I, too, am a product of the inner city. And at the age of 14, I had the opportunity to go through a skills training program for 3 years. And during that time, I learned a lot about myself. When I was going through the program, I had expectations for myself, and it was simply to get a good job and to be able to pay for my own place. If you would have asked me back then, how did I see myself, or where did I see myself 20 years from that point in time, I would have never imagined that I would be president of a bank, let alone Citibank, Delaware. I would have never imagined that I would have the opportunity to travel the world. So I share that with our young adults to say this: dream big and believe all things are possible if you put your mind to it. With that said, this year, as part of the Pathways to Progress, we are pleased to announce another $150,000 grant to the West End Neighborhood House. I would also like to share with you that over the past 3 years, the Citibank Foundation, through the Pathways to Progress, has contributed $650,000 to the West End Neighborhood House. I would also like to say that in addition to the funds that have been granted, the Citi family here in Delaware is also offering volunteer hours through our staff as the West End Neighborhood House sees fit. So thank you, congratulations, and it is truly our pleasure to give back to the community. Thank you.
So we're going to do a check presentation, but I would be remiss if I didn't thank the Department of Community Services and Marcus Henry and your staff for all your hard work, Wes Davis and Sindhu Siva. They're the folks behind the scenes who've helped 400 young people be gainfully employed, but more importantly, have a pathway to their future by helping them explore what they would like to do in the future. So without further ado, I would love to see that $150,000 check, and we'll do a photo shoot. So for those of you who have not seen the facility before, not been in this great kitchen where our young people work, there is a tour of the kitchen and the library right afterwards. You know, the press is more than welcome to shoot for some B-roll, and there's some light refreshments. I want to thank each and every one of you, not only for coming, but for your investment in young people. Each one of you have made a difference in 400 young people's lives, and I thank you all from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.